I'm at the Energy Psychology Conference, and are you two guys together?
Yes.
Your name is?
I'm Stefan Ganek.
And you are?
I'm Laura Mazaganek.
And you are?
This is my beautiful wife and muse and inspiration.
Okay, now I understand you're like the relationship experts in terms of energy psychology. I attended your presentation and talked about a couple of things I'd like to cover here. One is, what are like the 3 key barriers to finding love?
Right, the first barrier is being powerfully, subconsciously attracted to the wrong people. The second barrier is having fears and limiting beliefs that interfere with being with the right person. And the third barrier is not having your life aligned with attracting love into your life as soon as possible.
Sound like pretty good no-brainer barriers. Like if you're going to do it, get those barriers, right?
Absolutely.
So let's talk about what's the process. I believe you have a 2-part process for breaking free of these negative attraction patterns.
Right, so there's a process for breaking free from being attracted to the wrong people. And first you need to know that the wrong people are people who share the same most painful negative traits as our parents, either parent. And so what you need to do to break out of that is, part 1 is you want to heal and release the pain that you experience from that negative trait. So there's going to be memories of experiencing the negative trait from the parent. Like, say you had a parent who was very judgmental, critical. There's times when you felt painfully judged and criticized. We use EFT to release that pain. And then the second part is to give to your inner child the unmet need and love that was on the other side of the pain. So for instance, if you're being painfully criticized and judged, there's an unmet need there, which is the unmet need of acceptance and approval. So the second half is to give to your inner child experiences of getting that need met, of getting the love, acceptance, and approval that was missing at the time.
Okay. You also talked about the, how to identify and release the fears and limiting that interference with being with a desired healthy partner. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, we did an awesome exercise where we actually led the whole group on imagining, just really in their mind's eyes, tapping into their imagination of what it would feel like if they had the most amazing, ideal soulmate, their partner, just come closer to them. And we juiced it up so this person was just ideal in every way. And as the person was approaching, even with their arms wide open, how it was for them to actually experience that. There were very few people that were excited. There were a lot that were experiencing a lot of anxiety, fear, feeling like they were not quite ready, and even thoughts, which are the presentation of the negative beliefs, such as like, I'm not worthy, I'm not ready yet, this is going to be painful. So again, those are limited beliefs and emotions that interfere with being aligned with finding your soulmate.
Now, if someone were to see you, it's a couple that's not, has their challenges and they want to see you become more together or decide maybe they shouldn't be together. How long is the process with the techniques that you use?
Well, you were actually describing somebody who's in a relationship, and what we're doing is helping people find an ideal, healthy relationship. We have a 6-week program for doing that.
So people who they're not seeing anyone because they have problems seeing someone, or they're fed up with seeing someone because it's the same old pattern, as you put it, that they're still repeating, broken record, and so they need help.
Yeah.
That's right.
One of the things that can be identified is exactly like we can do that process with couples that have been together, which is a similar way, where it's like what is happening there? Are they, to identify what is happening is like, are they repeating the same broken record, or is this something else?
That's what I was getting at, yeah,
right.
Because a couple could be seeing you to make sure they remain a couple. Because down the road, a year or two later, that's when it rattles, and then,
Yes.
okay, why wait
and
then?
sometimes there are a lot of challenges even in a perfect soulmate couple, because things arise, and does that have to do with being complementary, and then it's just normal healing process and you identify those and work with it, or is it that this is the same old pattern and it's really not the person that you're supposed to be with?
Good. So what are some of the participants saying here about your workshops and talks here at the Energy Psychology Conference? Were they eager to, do you think they came home with some I think I can find my soulmate type of thing?
I heard quite a few, especially, we had a few men, but not only excited, but really having aha moments of bringing up and realizing things that they were not aware of at all. And I was like, oh, now I know
Now I
what
know
to
why.
work on.
Yeah, now I know they left or I left or it's not happening.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that people were excited about is that at the end of the presentation, we did a live demonstration with a woman who had a level 8 out of 10 attraction to a man that she knew was the wrong guy. This is an example of being attracted to somebody with the same negative trait as her parent.
A starter boyfriend, as I call it.
That's right.
Training boyfriend.
That's right. So she knew this guy was totally wrong for her, yet she kept coming back for more. And I asked her how strong the attraction was. She says 8 out of 10. Then we used that two-part process that I talked about to break out of the attraction. And in one demonstration session, her attraction level came down from an 8 down to a 3.
Wow.
Usually it takes about 3 sessions to completely break out of that negative attraction pattern.
Really?
You'll no longer be attracted to those people ever again.
So that same thing in terms of a personal relationship can probably apply to business relationships, I would think. So that you don't attract a business person who would be a failure or create failure in your company later on down the road or sabotage it.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. It's not limited to romantic relationships.
It could be a colleague, it could be a boss.
So it's
that
pretty
you're
powerful.
manifesting, yeah.
Pretty powerful stuff you could be offering.
Yeah.
The other piece that I really notice often is that people really appreciate having the balance of the feminine and the masculine, offering different views on how relationships work and how you attract your partner.
Yeah. Well, I attended your presentation briefly, and I actually did enjoy your presentation. Very clear and articulate, and especially a guy doing it and saying, oh, you know, I didn't have it, now I have. It takes balls for a guy to be up there and do something like that. But you did present it very eloquently and very informatively. You know, it's very well done, and you just expressed typical stories guys would have. It's pretty good, as opposed to me, stereotyping that a woman, you know, it's a woman's job to talk about relationships and blah blah. No, it's guys, you know. It's not, you know, it's a dance, right? So that's a nice balance there in terms of what you commented on there. More information, your website would be?
The website is findingtheloveyouwant.com, or
That should be easy to find.
findingtheloveyouwant.com. Yeah.
Exactly. And I am working a lot with women, so I'm at soulfulempowerwomen.com.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You may now kiss.